second time, I don't really have it. Only sell price. I don't really retail.
I think it has to do with,
That's crazy.
I think in the American though, if you were connected
Thank you.
then it causing your to do with your account being released
I'll
or
give you another example. What about my house goes on fire, and if my Tesla blows up outside my drive?
God forbid. God forbid. Yeah.
Not mine.
Somebody's.
Elon Musk.
No, God forbid as well. Yeah. He lives in a small little house, no? Yeah. Yeah.
So Tesla goes on that side. I don't know what he costs it.
American for sure. Yeah. Is he king? Baba Kama, Baba Bata.
all the law of the land. So you go.
You thought he was sitting next to the wrong guy for Baba Kama. Okay, Rabotai. Two shiurim. The first one's going to be very short. This is actually a very short. From all the yechave daats we've done, I don't know if I remember a more straightforward. This is your answer. There is basically no argument. Short yechave daat, and then after that, we'll do the ladies' shiur. The men are invited to stay. Today, I have a couple of interesting stories. One is a personal story that I think some of you might like, so you're welcome to stay. Okay, halakha for today is, I think it is surprise some people. Mahu hanusah hayoter nachon betfilah shover oyevim umachnia zedim or umachnia minim. Let's take a poll first before we get the answer. Is it umachnia minim or umachnia zedim? You'll see. Yeah, what's the proper? Zedim for Yarif? Zedim for you? Minim for you? Who's that?
Depends which
Mordecai. Moshe, Zedim with a Zayin? Okay, because he hears me doing it. You'll see, are you a Minim guy? Minim for Akiva. Do you say this this and so whenever it comes to things like this, I'm always a little hesitant because I'm not trying to say that the shul should change what they're doing, whatever, but we're learning halakha here from Chacham Ovadia. So if you're someone like me, if Chacham Ovadia says it, it's good enough for me, I'm going to change my way, that's great. But I'm not trying to say this halakha in a way that if someone out there says minim tomorrow, maybe even the rabbi of the shul for all I know, I'm not trying to say they're doing incorrect. I'm just teaching halakha l'maaseh from Chacham Ovadia. That's the tachlit of this class. Yerushalmi berachot, in the Gemara Yerushalmi berachot it says, she'hatima hi umachnia zedim with the zayin. V'chen amru b'Yerushalmi lechol im ta'a em ha'chazin oto. The Yerushalmi says if made a mistake, it's okay in the Amidah. Hutz mimi shelo amad mechayei metim. You got to make sure you say that beracha properly. What does it say in the blue book, Yossi? Except if you didn't say mechayei metim, umachnia zedim. It says in the Yerushalmi, you have to say that. Ubnei Yerushalayim she'ani omer minhu. Because if someone doesn't say those three things, mechayei metim, machnia zedim, and Bnei Yerushalayim, we think maybe they don't believe in these things happening. They don't believe in the resurrection. No. It says zedim in the blue book? Nice. I believe the Syrian book says minim with a mem. And it says further in the Yerushalmi that Shmuel HaKatan was the one that created it, and he made machnia zedim at the end of the beracha with a zayin. Okay. Now it says in the Yakut Shmuel, Nashim hayavot betfilah. Women are obligated to pray. Sheken Hana hitpalelah shemona eser berachot. Hana, if you look, we had this in one of the ladies' classes a while back, maybe even a year or two ago. Maybe you remember Yari. Hana vatipalel Hana. There's 18 berachot. If you look at the words closely, all 18 berachot of the Shemona Esrei is hinted in her tefillah. Hana prayed the 18 berachot. Rama Kani B'Hashem, for example, Rama Kani B'Hashem is Keneged Magen Avraham. That equals the Magen Avraham prayer. Hashem Mimitu Mahayeh is equal to Mehayeh Metim prayer. V'chulu v'chulu. And I think we did it once in the latest class, all 18. L'sha'im, what is the point of this? That it says in the Midrash, And where is the beracha of minim in Hannah's prayer? It says, Reshaim b'choshech yidamu keneged umachnia zedim. And so we have another source that it's zedim from the Midrash. In the Sefer Eshkol, it brings the Yerushalmi, and also in the Sefer Rokeach, it quotes the Yerushalmi. In the Yakut Esther, which is a Midrash about Megillat Esther, about Purim, it says on the Pasuk, V'lamelech en shovel haniham. Who said this? Who said this? V'lamelech en shovel haniham. Moshe. En shovel haniham. I'm talking, we have like a, what's it called? Mental telepathy. V'lamelech en shovel haniham. Haman HaRasha said this. It's not worth it to the king to keep these Jews around. That's right. Why? Says the Midrash. Haman mekatreg ve'omer. Haman told Ahasuerus, says the Midrash, don't you know how they pray in their shuls? V'kor'im Shema Yisrael. They say Shema. Ve'achar kach, and after this, omdim u'mpalelim ve'omnim b'tfilah machnia zedim. They say machnia zedim, and they're talking about us. Ve'omrim aleinu shadu zedim. They're praying for our downfall. This is why. Get rid of these Jews. But minat. It's the same thing. We'll see in a second. It's really the same meaning. You know what? It'll be interesting if there was a English orot you do there. Let's see what they translate. Right there. I see right behind Yadi's head on the second shelf. Right there. Stick your hand up. Lower, lower. Right there. To the left. 3 books to the left. Yossi, it's now 3 books to the right. It's right there. Stick your hand out, Yossi. Yes, that's it. It's right in the middle. Yeah. Okay, you get that in the meantime. No, the orot one. You can find the blue one too. In the Shavua Leket, so what do we have sources? The Yerushalmi says zedim. One midrash says zedim. Another midrash from Megillat Esther says zedim. In the Shavua Leket, in the Sefer Taneh Rabbati, it says in the name of the Agadah, shekach masinu yod het berachot shetfilah sidirot u'mitukanim bezu ahazu. We found 18 blessings before they added the 19th. Ivan Sheba Anshe Knesset Kalum V'Takum Knesset. That came to Anshe Knesset and made them in order. Keshinitsal Avraham Avinu Meu Kastim. This is an interesting one. When Avraham Avinu, when they realized that he was saved from the fire of Nimrod, Pathu Malachi Asharet ve'Amad Baruch Atah Hashem Magen Avraham. The angels praised Hashem Magen Avraham. That blessing will go all the way back. And Kisheteva'u HaMitzrayim B'Yam, when the Egyptians drowned in the sea, the angels opened up and sang, Shover oyevim umachnia zedim. So here we go, another midrash that uses the word zedim. What do you got there? What do you got, Yossi?
This book, first of all, says umachnia zedim, but in parentheses it says minim, and who smashes foes and humbles the wicked, or in parentheses the heretic.
Okay.
The name they translate as wicked, and the minim as the heretic.
As the heretics. Let's see. The Syrians say minim. I grew up saying minim. Yeah, I know. I grew up saying minim until I switched over when I saw the light. V'chen huva b'beit Yosef. I don't care. V'chen huva b'beit. I proudly adapt. V'chen huva b'beit Yosef. If you look at the Beit Yosef, v'chen katav b'nei Yeshaya rishon b'sof sefer hamachliya, and the Sefer Ayin Sham. Check it out over there. If you look at the nusach of the Sidur of Rav Saadia Gaon, and in the Sidur of Rav Amram Gaon, which is the time of Geonim, goes way back, and also in the Nusach of Tefillah from the Rambam, you'll find Maimonides, you'll find Zedim with the Zayin. And also writes Rabbeinu Hananel writes this, and it's brought on the Sefer Ozarua, V'chol hayad hamarber lebdok b'sefrei rabotenu harishonim. Anyone who wants to try and do research and look at all the great rabbis, you'll find more examples like this. Shinus hatam umachnia zedim, says the Chavadia. They're all going to say zedim, any old source you find. In the Sefer Shameh Sibur, he brings the Pri Hadash that writes, that he used to finish, Shover minim umachnia zedim. That's an interesting finish. You guys remember our finish? Shover oyevim umachnia zedim or minim. The Pri Hadash's finish was Shover minim umachnia zedim. He put both of them in there. V'chatav alav, the Shameh Tzibur writes on this, Lo yadati lama shina b'nusach haberacha shekatuv b'sefrei hamkubalim hamkadmonim sherashi tevot Shover oyvim umachnia zedim gematria shakai. Everybody got what's going on here? Oh, you got what's going on here? The Pri Hadash, because of the mahloket, seems like he did both. Shover minim umachnia zedim. Beautiful. I got both. But they write on him, no. Shover oyevim umachnia zedim. The Rashi Tevot, the first letter of those 4 words, Shin Aleph. Shover oyevim umachnia vav zedim. Shin Aleph vav and Zayin is a total of Shakai. Shin Dalet and Yud. And so Hashem is the one that wipes out those people. So we need the Rashi Tevot of those final 4 words to equal the name of Hashem. Shin, Aleph, Vav, and Zayin. Shin is 300, Aleph is 301, Vav is 6, that's 307, and Zayin is 314. Shakai, Shin, Dalet, and Yud is 314. And so if you don't have the proper finish, you're missing the name of Hashem. Shebikoah Hashem HaKadosh, Hazeh Yikaneu. That's the only way they're going to fall, these people, is by the name of Shakai. Umikan, from here we know, She'en lo ma binusach ha'hamdat yamim. Don't say like the Hamdat Yamim that says, Shover oibim umachnia minim. Because you're going to throw the whole gematria off if you do this. Kadesh sheyeh me'ena petiha. Why would you want to? Because there's generally a rule that every blessing that we make, the ending has to be like the beginning. And we start the blessing, la minim vela mashini. Usually, we end the blessing the same way we started. So if you started with minim, you should finish with minim. That's the reason for the minim team, right? That's a rule in berachot. Ube'emet, usually. Look around. Look at the berachot. Look at the berachah that's... It's almost like a rule. But you'll see here how he answers it. ובאמת שכבר כתב הגאון דוד פרדו in the Sefer Hasdei David, שאף על פי שבתחילה הזכיר מינים, even though you said minim to start it, כשבא לחתום אומר zedim. You should still say zedim at the end. ובכולל בזה את שניהם. Zedim is a word that includes both. It means foes and it means heretics. And also the Rabbi David Amar in Sefer Tefillah David writes that mikoach nusach hatefillah shel Rambam. Look at the Rambam, what he writes, Maimonides, and also in Hadbeh Sidurim Kadmonim. Look at all the old Sidurim. It all says umachnia zedim. Behenemet. Now, however, Marana Hida, the Hida, who is a big heavy hitter, the Hida. Bekeshet Gadol, in the Sefer Keshet Gadol, he writes. Keshet Gadol, he writes. In the Hitamat Birkat Haminim, Kabanu Shesarich Lachtom, Shover Oivim Umachnia Minim. So the Hida is the one. You see how much influence he had, who said Minim. Kedesh Yeh Me'ena Petiha, so that the ending can be like the beginning. Minim at the beginning, Minim at the end. He was born in Israel, but the Moroccans claim him as their own, but he wasn't born in Morocco. Mordechai is good. If you look at the Sidur Ari in the publication of Levuv, it also says minim. That's the Arizal. That's 2 of them. The Sefer Shalmei Tzibur doesn't agree with this. He said, no, you're losing the whole gematria. He says, I'm not moving from my minhag. With forgiveness to Hida. All the earlier ones say zedim. Like we brought. This is the proper way to finish. If you're worried that you want the ending to be like the beginning, we already explained. The word zedim means also heretics. And also writes the Gaon Mahari Al-Ghazi in the Sefer Not Yaakov, Shezedim kinui leminim. It means really the same thing. Like we say in Masechet Megillah. Okay. V'lachen, en tam lemithakemim leagia v'lomar b'berkat haminim b'hatima. These people who are intellectuals and getting smart, it's very, very sharp words. You're getting too smart for your own good, he's saying, basically. You're getting too intellectual, don't change it. Don't do that. It's the same thing. In the Sefer Sifihat Bidbash, He goes on all about this. He brings the Yerushalmi that we brought, and he says zedim, and he also writes in the name of other people to say zedim from the Megillat Esther Midrash of Haman. Therefore, Tama Amaran Hida Haniskal La'il. He wonders about the Hida. How could the Hida say minim? She'amad adato sheyesh lahtom umachnia minim. How? Ve'erich bazeh betutam v'daat. He goes on about it, and also in the Sefer Petach HaDavid, v'shechem matzah b'sidur ketivat yad im kol kavanot ha'arizal. He found a Sefer from the Sidur from the Arizal. The anusach sham was zedim. So diffus levuv could have been messed up when it had minim, because he found the old version that has zedim. If you look at the Sefer Gaoni Abetz, the Pri Megadim, Hayy Adam, they also, and the Maaseh Abraham, and Rabbi Chaim Palaji, they all say it's umachnia zedim. They wonder about the Hida. How could he not go like everyone else? Anyone who agrees with the Hida, he says, is also a wonder. Must be they didn't know or read all those other sources. He writes in the Kaf Hayim, if the Hida would have seen these sources that we brought earlier, for sure he would have retracted what he said from his own logic and agreed with all the other sources. I think that's what Mordechai is referring to. If he would have seen it, he would have been Hozeh. For sure he would have agreed these days to say zedim. And this is the nusach bechol sidurei ha'ashkenazim. All the Ashkenaz people. You guys say umachnia minim or umachnia zedim in the Amidah. Oh, you don't know. You have a sidur on here? Do we have an Ashkenaz sidur here? No. Also the Mikubalim, and like the Rabbi Rabbi Amram Aborbia in the Sefer Netivei Am. This is the Minhag in Yerushalayim. Don't go by the Sidur Tefilat Sharim that says umachnia minim. It's a mistake in that book. This is the halakha. Hanusach hameduyak hatimat birchat minim. The proper way to finish this bircha. Shober oyevim umachnia zedim with a zayin. That's a wrap. That's halakha la'maaseh. Sorry if you have to change. I already changed a long time ago.
Why your Siddur said